Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. We have a gift. It's the fact that Hashem wants to bring the Moshiach. Not only does Hashem want to bring Moshiach, but it is the ultimate purpose of creation, is for the days of Moshiach, the Messianic era, the coming of the Moshiach, are all of us experiencing the days of Moshiach. That's God's ultimate desire. But what we have to understand is that we have an impact on this. Before we get into that, let us first clarify, what does it mean that this is Hashem's ultimate desire, to bring Mashiach? What does that mean? How is it Hashem's ultimate desire to bring Mashiach? What does that mean? Hashem has desires. Well, yes, and that it's explained this way, that when you want to build a house, an analogy for this, when you want to build a house, you're not going to think first about the foundation. First, your ultimate idea in your head, your ultimate desire of what you want to build is the entire house at large, which includes the foundation, it includes the staircase, it includes the porch, all these details, the concrete, the reinforced, the steel bars, whatever it may be. There's always details, but those details are really, no one's going to think, oh, I would love a house with this type of foundation. I mean, you may find someone like that, but no one's just going to focus on the foundation, then go on and go on. In their head, they're going to have an idea of the entire house, and that's the ultimate goal. They're going to have the first thought they're going to have in their head is the ultimate goal, and then they're going to go through the process of how to get there. So too, in a similar way, and by way of analogy with Hashem, Hashem created the world. It says the first thing was the soul that he put into the world, that he emanated, so to speak, was the soul of Mashiach. It says, as the light was hovering above the water, the glory of Hashem was hovering above the water. That is related to the Mashiach. That the first thought that Hashem had in his head is the days of Mashiach, the ultimate goal of the revelation of God on earth, the fusion of heaven and earth, so to speak. That is God's ultimate desire. But, of course, it had to start with first Adam, and then Eve, and then their children, Adam and Chava, and then Cain and Hevel, and Shet, and all of their descendants, and all the stories, and to Noah and Abraham. These are all necessary pieces to the puzzle steps of the process. But really, Hashem's eye is on the prize, the days of Mashiach, and Hashem is revealing, Hashem is unfolding, making everything unfold in a way where there's different steps, but the ultimate goal is the coming Mashiach. So that means that really, we have to internalize this idea, because it's really exciting, and there's really no limit to how much we can think about this idea. It's always going to be, it's always mesmerizing, no matter who you are and what you've learned. There's always more to appreciate about this idea that Hashem wants to reveal the days of Mashiach to us. Hashem, first of all, what's so special about the days of Mashiach? As we said in many videos, the days of Mashiach, there are many different processes, stages, and eras in the days of Mashiach, different stages to that process. But ultimately, the days of Mashiach, God will be open and revealed within this physical world. The whole world will experience a revelation of God, which, by the way, is obviously the best possible pleasure, better pleasure than any pleasure we can imagine, times infinity, combined with all pleasures of all time. They're not even in the same category as one single moment experiencing godly revelation. So that is the ultimate desire. So that means that everything we're going through now is a direct, necessary prerequisite to bring the days of Mashiach. So when we think about that, it will surely allow us to have much more faith in the Creator, in the Lord, in Hashem. Allow us to understand and to appreciate the fact that for some reason, whatever may be going through now, which may be painful, unfortunately, but it for some reason is a needed, necessary, direct prerequisite for the days of Mashiach. Meaning, this darkness that I'm going through now is not actually darkness in and of itself. It is a darkness that is directly related to the light that's coming. Meaning, for some reason, and we can't understand this, we can't grasp this idea because we're humans. We have to get comfortable with the fact that there's things that God does that are beyond our grasp, but He wants it to be done, and it's good. So this darkness that I'm going through is nothing of its own. For some reason, this is needed This pain is needed for the pleasure that's coming. In order to fully experience the pleasure that God is about to reveal to me, this painful situation was needed. We'll take it actually now a step further. That is only when we're looking in the past. But looking from now on in the future, from here on out, there doesn't have to be any more darkness. Hashem could bring the light immediately. And that is why when we make ourselves a vessel, the darkness and the pain that we've gone through, we have to look at that as, this was good. What happened in the past, yes, it was painful, but it was good. It happened. It means it was perfect, and Hashem needed it to happen, and that is going to bring Mashiach. But from the future, we don't have to say, oh, the suffering I'm going to go through is going to be going to bring the days of Mashiach. No, only when looking at the past we appreciate the suffering. But looking at the future, there doesn't have to be any more suffering. In my mind, for all I know, Mashiach is about to come right now. There's not going to be any more suffering. If you say, okay, but what if there is suffering? So then you'll deal with that when that happens. Maybe Mashiach didn't come at that point yet. But from this point on outwards, we have to see it as if Hashem is about to bring Mashiach right now. There doesn't have to be any more suffering. Because the Rebbe explains the best way to get ready for the days of Mashiach is to live like Mashiach's already here now, to get into it. How do we live like Mashiach's here now without, actually experiencing the days of Mashiach and the third temple and the divine revelation? By learning Hasidut. And by living with joy and with emunah, with faith in God that He will bring Mashiach, we show God that we're ready for Mashiach. Because Hasidut, we know Hasidut is the Torah of Mashiach. It's the secrets of Torah that started to be released into the world a couple of hundred years ago in preparation to get the world ready for the days of Mashiach. Because as we know, before Kabbalah, the secrets of Torah were only reserved for the masters and the people who were students who have studied their whole life. But the simple Jew didn't get the opportunity to learn these deep, profound ideas that will arouse them to get closer to God. Till the Baal Shem Tov came and said, no, now is the time. We've reached a point where we've passed a certain threshold. We now have to release Hasidut into the world, to pump the godly light, the teachings out into the world, to arouse people to get closer to God, to accelerate the process of the coming of Mashiach. So, when we learn Hasidut, we prepare ourselves for the days of Mashiach. As well as the fact, when we show God, and the Rebbe Rashab explains this, when we have emunah, faith, we show God that we believe He's going to bring Mashiach, that pushes God to bring Mashiach. If we say, they always say Mashiach's going to come, He's not coming, chas v'shalom, someone speaks like that, they're actually pushing Mashiach further away because they're showing God that they don't trust in His plan. They're showing God they don't agree with the way He's running the show. Whereas when someone says, Hashem, I believe and I trust that You're about to bring Mashiach, they're showing God that they have confidence in Him. And that, as it were, pressures God to bring Mashiach. Hashem, so to speak, says, wow, my children trust in Me so much. It arouses God's mercy upon us. So this is something very exciting. So just to sum it up, we have to remember that that the whole purpose is for the coming of Mashiach. Hashem, the whole reason why Hashem created this world is to bring us into the days of Mashiach, where He will be open and revealed to each and every one of us, and we'll experience a godly revelation, which will cause us the greatest possible pleasure, and cause Hashem in turn the greatest possible pleasure, or cause it causes Hashem the greatest pleasure, or cause us the greatest pleasure, whatever. We're made in the image of Hashem, so obviously we're reflecting Hashem. But Hashem gives us the ability to have our own impact on Hashem, so to speak. Hashem is humble. He doesn't need anything, but He chooses to give us this opportunity. And He makes it so like He needs us. He makes Himself need us, so to speak, for our sake. But really Hashem is perfect, beyond perfect. He doesn't need anything from us, but He wants something from us. And we have this opportunity to give back to Him. And then we'll remember that since the ultimate days of Mashiach are the ultimate purpose, that means that the darkness that I'm going through now is only serving as a purpose to reveal the light that's coming. Meaning the darkness is a necessary part in the revelation of the light. And then we took it a step further, saying, but that was only for the past. From here on out, we don't have to worry about darkness anymore. We have to be confident in God. The Mashiach's about to come now. And when we do that, we turn all the remaining darkness into light. May it be today that it's open and revealed, and we see the days of Mashiach, Hashem's ultimate plan that we're waiting for. May today be the day. Thank you so much for all the amazing support. Please help share this video, like, comment, subscribe, share the Torah. You guys are amazing. Let us experience the days of Mashiach today with the help of God.